Boom.
Boom.
What's up, everybody?
Yo,
What's up,
well,
man? Rico coming
guys,
smooth.
How's it going?
we are live, charged up tonight, man. We have a good one for you guys tonight. We got Ty and Kyler with Travel Club Crypto Project, and we're super excited to have these folks on. They're going to be talking about all the good that is going on with that project in just a little bit. We also got a lovely guest, Barbara Inu. Barbara, thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate you as always. And of course, we have coolest guy I know, Moneybags Rico,
What's up, everybody?
and the original Joe Cool Crypto Bronze.
What's
Crypto
up?
Bronze, what's up? Man, it looks like you got a little bit of sun near you. Is it
It
sunny where you're
is.
at? Man,
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I got to get outside a little bit because you and I are in the same time zone. But guys, we we appreciate you guys joining us tonight. We certainly appreciate all you guys out there joining in, and whether you listen to us watching or listening to us live or pre-recorded, we certainly appreciate you. And of course, anything that we talk about tonight, man, it is just for entertainment purposes. It is not financial advice. But guys, we're going to start us off as always. We want to definitely pull up the charts, see what's going on in crypto land. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the charts for BTC. Just bear with us for a moment while I get that up. Have you guys been seeing the chart this week? Man,
Yeah. Finally hitting that
it's
30K.
30K.
Oh yeah, you're right on the money, Bronze.
Yeah,
Almost. Just a little bit.
like that's 2 weeks in a row. 3 weeks. Are you the guy to watch there, Bronze?
Yeah,
Maybe.
insider
Yeah,
trading over here.
It's trading.
He
Yeah.
knows Satoshi Nakamoto.
But
man.
they
Okay,
Yeah,
hook us
man.
up. Hook us up for
Yeah.
sure. Um, let me go ahead and pull this up here, and we'll go ahead and see what we have here. Okay, here we go. Sharing the screen. Let me blow this out a little bit. You guys can see that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, what we're doing here is we're taking a look at the daily chart for BTC, right? The granddaddy, the mother of all
Right.
crypto, and feels like we've been pretty steady. It looks like we actually hit that bull flag, and it actually hit right within the timing. Now I was calling 36. There's a very good chance it still could go up to 36 if we were to take a look at this. So bull flag definitely played out, and it looks like the breakout was up. So I think that there's that chance that it could continue to grow. And on top of it, it just so happens that we got a bit of good news going on in the space with Shanghai, and that's Ethereum. We'll be talking about that in just a little bit. But Crypto Bronze, what do you say, man? Since you've been getting this thing right, do you feel like we're going to be continuing this rise? This
Yeah, I think it's gonna continue. I think I see some resistance in that 35 to 40K level. Um, but if we break out of that, surpass that, like that 40K, it's that it has that psychological effect. That can have a chance to moon. But I think once we hit into that 35 to 40K, yeah, we're gonna might it'll be a resistance and might have some little sideways, be sideways for a little bit. But I mean, it all depends. I mean, with the world going on with this story about the de-dollarization, uh, people trying to move up, people trying to hedge. Uh, yeah, but I do see it to continue to go up. So yeah, what do you think, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead, Kyle. I'll go after you.
no, go ahead, please do.
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's looking good. Obviously, there's like a little bit of resistance right here at this 30 or whatever. I've been playing with it, trading it, having a lot of fun with it. And I think some people are kind of holding back, kind of waiting for like interest rates for that to come in and see how, they're going to pivot on this and stuff. But overall, is Bitcoin going to zero? No. And is it going to keep going up? Yes, absolutely. And if you ask me, what's the price of Bitcoin? I'm going to tell you it's cheap right now. So just remember that. Even though we said the cliche, right? I don't want to get in trouble or anything like that. It's not financial advice, but to me personally, it is very cheap right now as we speak. Yeah, we'll remember these. We'll remember these times in the future. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's definitely this is history, right? And we've been on that downward slope for quite a while. And Rico, I couldn't agree with you more. There is no way that this thing is going to zero. I mean,
No.
you take a look at some of what folks are saying out there. I saw a number today, 10 million. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the near future, but I certainly feel like that's a possibility.
Yeah, it
in the
is.
long run.
I don't mean to run in front of everybody because I was playing with this math. Like if you think about gold and stuff, right? And then if you bring the housing market into it, it's definitely going to have some potential where it could very easily grow in market cap value. At least within our lifetime, for sure, a $500,000 Bitcoin is not far fetched at all. I can tell you that. And if the housing market and everything else takes it into, because it's really hard to move gold around, but Bitcoin takes over that's a big market cap right there. That's basically like a $10 million Bitcoin, $10 million Bitcoin. Yeah. So yeah, 500,000 for sure within our lifetime. And hopefully if it continues to do some special stuff and other markets keep messing up, maybe we'll see $1 million Bitcoin.
Well, for sure. Ty, what are your thoughts on this?
Exactly what Rico was saying. I think that as we build more adoption, it'll explode. Obviously, I think once you get more trust involved, and sometimes just like what you were pointing out was that the trust it is derived maybe from distrust of the other markets that were supposedly stable. I think that's going to have a great effect. And that when people start to flood, and we've seen it recently in the last few months, in fact, where people have kind of flooded into the market just a bit because of Bitcoin, and because when you see a bank go down, a national bank go down, people start looking for ways to protect it because, like you said, it's not going to go to zero. And right at the moment, a lot of people can't guarantee that with their own bank. So,
Right.
they're going to feel a little bit. I think it has a lot to do with what has caused the raise. And I do, when you were looking at the chart, and I was just right before we came on, I was looking at the yearly chart, actually, just what you just pulled up. And I see a nice cup forming. If it continues in that way for a yearly chart, it could do some very massive things if everything else plays out right in the economy. And that's always the caveat, right? We don't know what's going to happen exactly with the economy one way or the other. A bad economy doesn't necessarily mean a bad Bitcoin, though, at all. In fact, it could go the other way around if it goes bad enough and that banks start to fail. Then people lose trust in the traditional markets. They'll come into Bitcoin more because, like you said, it's not going to zero. Those numbers people were throwing around, sub 10,000, and I'm not saying it could never happen, not financial advice, but I'm not saying it could never happen. But I'm saying that I know there's a ton of people that would sit there and buy Bitcoin just because they could. All of a sudden, they could own a whole one, right? Because all of a sudden, if it got to 10,000, they'd jump all over it, and then all of a sudden it bounced, just like everything did bounce when it kind of hit bottom. Whether that was true bottom, like I said, I don't know, but when it hit the last bottom, it bounced. It didn't sit there long. It came up pretty quick because people were poised to buy. And once they started seeing it go up, they didn't want to miss out. So they jumped right back in. So I think it's all kind of playing into Bitcoin's hands. The actual world economy, not just the American economy, but the world economy is playing into Bitcoin's hands.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. We talked a little bit about that last week and what that looks like for the G6, G7. And we agree 100% with you. I think we're all on the same page with that. And it's interesting that you called out cup and handle because you see actually two potential cup and handles depending on how far out. Crypto, right? So you guys see him on YouTube. He's all over the place. He says, when in doubt, zoom it out, right? And if you can't see anything in the charts as we get in close, well, then just zoom it out a little bit and see what you start to identify. You have that potential cup and handle starting here at 47 and then coming on down and then up, but you can go back further. And you could potentially call this the cup and handle as well. It may not be as pretty, but it could play out. And that's massive. It's huge. So those numbers, 100 plus, man, that would be a reality if this plays out long term. So, uh, Kyle, what's your thoughts on this?
I mean, it's poised to just keep going, in my opinion. Again, not financial advice, but it's bottomed out pretty well and it's on the rise again, and people are starting to get trust. And I mean, I feel good about the future personally. I really do. I mean, I own a lot of it myself personally, so I mean, the sky's the limit, I hope.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And it's like the green wall. I mean, we may get it. We may get that green wall coming on here. It may just go up. And we've seen it happen in the past. We've seen it happen in the past. If we were to just kind of zoom out a little bit further, we get these very significant upswings. Yeah. It goes, yeah, way past the stratosphere. Oxygen's real low and it goes up real quick. And it's possible that we see more of that here. Of course, that would ruin our cup and handle formation, but I'm okay with that. So, we'll
I can
see.
live with that alternative for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Barbara, what do you say? What do you think? Good, bad? Is it going to zero?
No, it's not. I think it's gonna go up. I personally don't have much BTC as I want it, but yeah, I think once it starts going up again, you know how it is. People like the green, so and a lot of people buy when it is green instead of when it goes down. So I think that Bitcoin, this is gonna be for me. I don't know. You guys are the experts on this, but for me, is the I said like end of this year is gonna go places. So
Boom.
Yeah, there it
I like
is.
that.
To the moon. To the moon.
Yeah.
yeah, end of
And
23, 24. I say.
Yeah,
and I
that's for
think
sure.
I think it's something that you said, right? I think that there are some people out there that want it to be higher, and the reason most likely for that is they bought it at a point that was real high,
Yeah.
and they're bag holders.
Yeah.
Have no fear, it's going to come back. It just takes time. We've
Sure
seen
does.
this time and time again. So, uh,
Yeah, and just
have faith.
I do want to say think about the conditions, because we're always going to remember 2020, 2021, right? Although it just happened and people might not think it's that significant, it's going to be something that we talk about later on in the years with the type of conditions that we had, right? People staying home, interest rates were at zero. So all these things tied together helped push Bitcoin up, right? People are home learning about Bitcoin. And I was asking myself, can we create these conditions again? Is it possible to create similar conditions with what we got going on? And I believe some people are just sitting on the sidelines right now until, Jerome Powell does some decisions with the inflations, whether he's going to halt it and just chill for a little bit, or whether he's going to, just stop raising interest rates altogether, because some of these factors have to play in to kind of create this and whatnot. But what's nice about Bitcoin is it continues to grow no matter what. And the more and more time that goes by, it was kind of a joke that it was the gold of cryptocurrency or digital assets, but it's really becoming that right now. I don't think people, even though I still believe in gold, obviously, but you try having gold with you and you want to change jurisdictions or move from a place. How are you going to move all your gold to another place? If you want to move from Florida or move to New York, and, think about how much gold you'll have to, it's too heavy, but if you have it on a wallet and you're thinking about your kids and those kids and you want to leave them something, not a building, real estate. Look at the real estate, it's not that good, right? Then they got to take care of it, the land or whatnot. You never know how it's going to be. And in gold, yeah, of course it's always gonna be good, but then moving it, what if they want to move from that state? Now they got to try to move all this gold. It's real heavy. Or you can leave them a digital wallet with Bitcoin on there. They can decide to move wherever they want, and that's generational wealth right there, without having to worry about all the overhead. If you invested into some kind of form of generational wealth where your kids or whatnot are going to have reap the benefits of it, you don't have to worry about the government taking that land for whatever reason, wanting to build a new mall on top of it while you're turning in your grave or whatnot. But yeah, so yeah, that's Bitcoin for you. It's got a lot of stuff. It has so many things, and I think as like with the banks failing, and as time progresses, we're gonna appreciate more of these little things that, not saying that anybody overlooks, but at times we're just so caught up in maybe the chart or the actual crypto space, but it's actually bringing a lot of utility to the market and for the future to come as well. The people who's going to come, the kids and stuff, they'll be able to be protected and hold one of these Bitcoin. Try to get one. 8 billion people, 21 million Bitcoin. You should eat ramen. This is the only advice I will give people. Once a week, you should eat nothing but ramen to secure a little bit more Bitcoin. That's the only advice I can tell you. I can give you a diet advice.
Boom. Yeah.
That's it
Where's
right
the
there.
drop the mic on that one, man? Because I feel like, yeah, absolutely. I feel it totally makes sense, right? You got to go ahead and try to get one now. Get one now if you can. This is it. This is your last chance.
Yeah.
We ain't going to see levels like this for a long time ever again. Period. So, but very good advice. Definitely eat the ramen. I like
Eat
that.
the ramen.
Eat the ramen. We gotta get one of those captions up there. So work on that one. But I think, yeah, overall, good message, positive message. I think we're headed in the right direction, and talking about heading in the right direction, uh, we got a lot. There it is. Eat the ramen. Good, man. Now we needed to get the emojis. They have emojis for that. I'm sure they do.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was trying to be
Yeah.
quick.
Oh, well, you were quick draw right there. But we do got some good news more coming. It's in the Ethereum space, but of course and it's funny because you have all these everyone well, this was maybe years ago. I don't even know if they do it anymore. Everything but Bitcoin was an S coin, right? And poo poo coin, and yeah, it's like, okay, well, you have Bitcoin, but now you have Ethereum that's creeping up, and there was always talk: is it going to overtake it? Well, remains to be seen. But there's some big news coming up in the Ethereum space, and came out this week. But to be fair, it's been on the docket for this to happen for some time. Right. The foundation talks about these types of upgrades frequently if you're paying attention. And we're talking, of course, about the Shanghai upgrade. And the big thing about the Shanghai upgrade, and it can be taken good or bad, right? Because it does give the ability to enable validators to withdraw staked ether and some of the rewards that are currently locked up. Now, this article is, of course, indicating that JP Morgan is saying it may have some selling pressure because of it. So we may see potential dip. But, I think the thing is that we need to consider as Ethereum progresses, as they build out Ethereum, these type of upgrades get us closer to 2.0. And there may be some temporary sell pressure, but understand that this is just one more ring up that ladder that we need to get to the top to the end game, which is Ethereum 2. Of course, Ethereum 2 has all those low gas fees, sharding, and a lot of functionality that if you take a look where we were 3 years ago when the NFT craze was in, or was it two and a half? It was crazy. You couldn't buy an NFT without spending $300 worth of gas.
Crazy.
But and hopefully this improves upon all of that. So Rico, what do you think? Is this good news, bad news? We're going to see a dip before an up, or is this going to the moon?
At the end of the day, it's Ethereum's gonna be here to stay, right? Because everything's built on it. It's I usually say Ethereum's like a sleeping giant because we kind of overlook that, like how many projects are built on the ETH network, right? So like It's not going nowhere. It has its own value compared to like what Bitcoin is. It's not. I don't think ETH will pass up Bitcoin because maybe I'm being biased and I love Bitcoin for that reason. But you cannot overlook that so many projects are built on Ethereum. Now, this kind of news, I'm not gonna lie, I don't take it that well. But they're not going to shake me out the market, right? It's like a lot of people who already know crypto, and even if you don't know about it, now you're coming into it as of it being like this from now on. So it's not like you really know about the past, but even this, I'm still bullish on holding Ethereum because how many projects are built on it? It's not going nowhere. So overall, in the short term, it can probably have some selling pressure. I'm not going to lie. I'll always be honest with you guys, but long term, it's not going nowhere. It's a sleeping giant, Ethereum. Everything's built on it, and yeah, it's not going to go anywhere. But Talik's too smart.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I mean, guy's a genius, and in fact, what he did, even what I feel like one of the biggest moves that he ever did was making sure that it didn't necessarily fall on one individual, which is why you have the foundation. And what I love about the foundation is that you have multiple different countries representing, multiple different teams from different countries representing some of the brightest minds in the space coming together to identify what the future backbone is and how to make sure that it remains that backbone and the number one option out there for blockchain. So, Kyle, what do you say? Is this good news? Does this bring us into the future? Is this going to hurt us in the short term? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's hard to say. Nobody can really predict the future, right? But I mean, I get more attention on everything in the crypto space, and get the charts moving up and people's trust, you're going to get more of your average investors interested. And I mean, if we can find some sort of stability where they feel their investments are safe and they can make money, it could really work out. I mean, there's a lot of good opportunity here.
Yeah. It's something that you said there, and it was about keeping it safe, right? And the thing about Ethereum is that it's tried and it's true and it's been tested. And the security aspect of it is one of those things that really is a super strength for it because you have a lot of these blockchains that are currently out there that are touting high speeds, low cost, but there's not a lot of projects on it, right? Rico spoke to it, Braun spoke to it. There's all, I feel like actually everyone on the panel has spoken to the fact that you have majority of the projects on this blockchain and there's no other really that's making a dent in it at this time. I mean, even in the near future. But don't get me wrong. I do think that there is value in having other chains out there, right? Mm-hmm. And building those foundations. You never know. 20 years from now, 10 years from now, that may be the future. But Ethereum is it for us right now. Ty, what do you think?
Yeah, I think short term, it'll take a bit of a downturn. There's no doubt that some of those validators, when it comes, when they come unlocked, they're going to take some profits. They're going to take some money, and that's okay. It's good to see it pumping up, slightly now, so that can absorb some of it. But in the long term, it's bullish because, as you said, as Ethereum reaches those lower gas fees, everything changes. Because to me, I really do think that may be one of the few things that kind of holds Ethereum back to some extent at the moment, is the fear of the gas fees. Everybody who lived through that gas fee fiasco knows what it was like to get stuck in something that you might have put a tiny little bit in and been way up on, but it wasn't worth selling because the gas fees were so high, So, and I love Ethereum, and Ethereum's not going anywhere because just like you said, there's other chains trying to be similar. But nobody's Ethereum. Nobody, as far as mainstream, Ethereum's, Bitcoin's the granddaddy of crypto. But I think that Ethereum is the granddaddy of crypto with a utility. And that is because, there's so much built on it. And it is mainstream. There's so much on Ethereum that we don't realize it's in our everyday life already. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I love it. Granddaddy of utility. I feel like I want to use that one. Did you coin that? I feel like you should. but I agree. You're right. I mean, if the fact is that if Bitcoin is gold, if Bitcoin is assets, then Ethereum is the utility base in which all transactions will occur. I've been saying that one for years, and I think that there's a misunderstanding that anything that is built on Ethereum is asset class or cryptocurrency. Man, I hate the term cryptocurrency because there's much more to this than just currency. There's
Yeah.
the memes and all that. There's value to it. I mean, we see it's. I don't want to say it too loud, but Doge is one of those, right? And when you have someone like Musk putting value into it and indicating, hey, listen, the simplicity of it, the fact that it doesn't require significant amounts of energy to exchange it should be the reason why we use it as a particular currency. I don't necessarily like the fact that it's Doge. I wish it were something a little bit more sophisticated, but I get it. Um, Now, when it comes to utility, though, yes, it is the future. We talk about Web 3. We're not close to true Web 3, but this is a start. This is how we get there. So I love it. I love it. Barbara, what do you think? Ethereum is the future? Is it the past?
Well, for me, it is. I can accumulate more Ethereum than Bitcoin. So yeah. And as you guys said, all the coins that you have to buy with Ethereum at a long run, I know Ethereum is gonna be 4,000, like we saw it one time. And I remember you were talking about the NFTs, and I'm in this project that when I bought NFTs, I paid 200 for one NFT for gas fee, and it was crazy. I was like, oh my god! But then why I didn't buy two at the same time? But since I was starting crypto because I'm a newbie in crypto, I started when the bull was running. So yeah, and it was crazy. And I think it's gonna get there again and it's gonna go up. Okay, it's not gonna be the same as Bitcoin, but I see Ethereum, going into the 5,000 or more soon.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
yep.
Yeah. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit five digits. I mean, I think that there is that possibility. So, the
Yeah.
future is bright for Ethereum. I'm a ETH head, so I'm biased, but I feel like it makes sense that we need a strong, secure blockchain that is not controlled by a single entity, and that's what scares the heck out of me with some of the others. Um, and when you have multiple countries involved, then what you have is something that is not controlled by a particular country, not controlled by a particular entity. And I don't know. I think the future is bright for Ethereum and certainly the entire space. So I agree with you, Barbara.
And when people start seeing that, because if you talk about crypto, everybody thinks about Bitcoin. You know,
Mhm.
it's like um crypto Bitcoin. But when they start doing the research, they see, the importance of Ethereum. Because if you don't have Ethereum, I cannot buy a lot of tokens. So people need to understand that there's more in crypto than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when that starts happening, Ethereum is gonna blow up.
Oh, big time. I mean, we've had so many different projects here that go from art to music to games to utility based. I mean, it truly is the future. There are so many different functionality utilities that are going to be coming out of this space, and I think that's in part what is the governments of the world, especially in the U.S. here, are struggling with. If we're going to identify this as an asset class, well, when you think about it, you can't do it for the entire set of everything that is in crypto, everything that is coming out. It's because it is not all asset class. It is not all currency. There's that functionality. There's still that utility to it. So
Hmm.
that needs to be rethought. They have to have multiple different categories within this, and I suspect we're getting there.
Yeah, I would think of if everybody remember when ETH was really close to Bitcoin, that gap is going to be closed again. You know, that's something that it's overlooked a little bit, is that the gap between Ethereum and Bitcoin was not this substantial at one point. They were relatively close. And I guarantee, I guess I can't say guarantee because of all the stuff on whatever, but I can almost promise you that that gap is going to close again, especially because Ethereum's utility and the fact that, you know, almost the majority of the projects are built on there. So just keep that in mind, that that gap is going to definitely be closed up for sure. Where don't think it's going to pass Bitcoin, but I do think that gap is going to get relatively close. And imagine if it was Bitcoin at this price where Ethereum is at right now, would you be buying it right now? Is the $1 million question, I guess.
Yeah, right. That's it. Sky's the limits. Yeah, $1 million. Yeah, I think honestly, I feel like that can happen. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. You know, Bronze, what do you think? You want to wrap this one up? What are your
Yeah.
final thoughts on this?
Yeah, final thoughts. I mean, I pretty much agree with, the panel, especially with Ty's saying with the upgrade. Once the stake is unlocked, you can probably see some selling pressures and it's gonna dip. But I mean, Ethereum is just too big to fail. It's gigantic. It's ginormous. A lot of projects are on it. Our project is part of it, ERC20, and it's not it's gonna dip, but it's just gonna go right back up. It's good to see it be, at breaking out to 2K, over 2K today, and yeah, the sky's the limit. I'm not, with all these upgrades, I'm not even really surprised that there was no price action with with these upgrades. I think the price action will come into play when the sharding happens, when the low gas fees actually happen. Yeah, that's when we'll see. But steadily, it's coupled with Bitcoin right now. But yeah, it's exciting times, man. It's yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to pump, man. Like we said before, a couple of years ago, me and Texas Whale, he said, we see Ethereum hitting 10K. So I still believe
10K?
that,
That's the number?
at least.
Oh yeah, it'll pass it up,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
It'll
Yeah.
pass it up. Yeah, I think so. But you know what? You've been
I
on the
will
money
say.
lately, so yeah, yeah. Just I would like to see it at 19,000. I think that's a good place for it to kind of put some pressure on that gap between. I just bit my cheek, but between 69,000 and 19,000 has that like almost relative same space that it had back in the day when it was like at 2,000 something and Bitcoin was at 12 and whatnot. So I'm watching Bitcoin pump right now, so that's probably why I bit my cheek. It almost hit 31K, and
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie.
oh shoot.
I got my moon boots on because if you guys watched the last few podcasts, I've been acting like a moon boy because that bear market was brutal, and I'm over it. And yeah, so I keep my moon boots on when I go to sleep and everything, just in case this thing's ready to take off at any moment. So yeah, just watching Bitcoin at the same time. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we're all ready for it, right? Oh, wait. Eat the ramen. Who did that?
Eat the ramen. Eat the ramen.
We don't need to
Ramen
eat
gets
ramen. I
get
feel
you a
like
bag
we're,
of
I feel like
Bitcoin.
we're going to the moon here. We're going to the moon. So, yeah, I think we all agree. I think we're done with winter. Spring is here. We're just waiting for summer to come along and just take us to the stratosphere. So, I agree. I think that we're ready for it. We're in a good place. There's a lot of good news coming out, and what's nice is that there were a lot of projects that were building in the bear, and they're getting ready for the next phase of this. So I think more to come on a lot of different projects. Kind of get us into Ty, Kyle, man. You guys got a great project here. Travel Club Crypto. Who wants to kick us off? Who wants to tell us all the good that's going on in the space?
I can do that. So TCC, Travel Club Crypto. We're a cryptocurrency company. We're a company first, a crypto second. What we're doing is we're building a memberships way. I'm sorry, got the tongue tied there. We're building a membership tiers so that will come with free stays. Depending upon how you have to hold a minimum amount of TCC. That minimum amount is not set yet because we only launched just over 3 weeks ago. So setting it now would be kind of silly because what it would technically do is have to change it 10 times every time it pumped or moved a little bit. So we need that to settle down a tad before we can set that specific price. But what we will do is we're going to have a retreat. We're going to build a retreat in likely Jamaica. Our co-founder, which is Kyle's brother, Tyler, is a dual citizen of Jamaica. And so that gives us some leeway in Jamaica that we may not have in other places. Although we do have, we have just recently hired corporate attorneys that are going to help us in choosing the place that we're going to have it. We are almost 100% sure it'll be Jamaica, but through our due diligence, we will make sure that that is still the best place to go as far as the company is concerned. Because first and foremost, we have to make sure it's profitable. One of our largest desires is to bring in as much new fiat as we can possibly bring in to the crypto space. The way we look at it is because this resort will also be a fiat based resort. So we'll have fiat. We'll also accept TCC. We'll have the membership tiers that'll be based on NFTs. We will not sell a single NFT for those membership tiers until we have at least broken ground. Everybody's seen entirely too much, especially in the last year, of NFTs that come out with all this utility, but then the utility never happens and you just end up with a picture and, the company shuts down. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen. So we will be breaking ground before we sell any NFTs for membership tiers. The big thing is for us is, like I said, we want to combine the fiat model with the crypto model so that we can put people on vacation in a place that is we're not going to force them to use crypto, but we're going to incentivize them. We're going to have activities that are based around crypto. What that does is that even if they come on a fiat vacation, they're going to end up using crypto most likely. They're going to end up with a wallet before they leave. And when they go home and they had a lot of fun, what are they going to do? They're going to tell other people the same thing. So we want to grow the space because that's the only way all of us will make it. We can't just keep recycling the same money over and over again from this project to that project to this company to that company, because if you just keep doing that, it will all end up in the blockchain and fees, and we'll end up with nothing. So you have to continuously bring new fiat. That's the way you're going to move it forward, is to bring new money here. It's just under 10% was the last I heard for adoption worldwide. And even if it is 10%, that's such a small amount. There's 90% more of the world to go. So we only need to get a little amounts of that constantly to make sure that we keep growing. So we have a lot of things going on. We also want to do third-party partnerships, B&Bs, hostels. We're already in negotiations with certain ones. We've already having conversations. People are reaching out to us. We are reaching out to other people, some in the crypto space, some in the fiat space. Anybody who knows anyone with B&Bs knows that it's all about keeping somebody in it. You don't make money unless there's somebody in it. So they're always looking for any way they can to keep that place full. Most places who do Airbnb, that's not the only booking service they use. Many of them use up to 5. So because it takes that many just to keep it full. And that's where we want to fill that niche. So we can get in there, and it's also, we bring crypto to the space. So we would accept TCC. We would hope that the partners will accept TCC. Obviously, that's something that we have to negotiate, and it'll be up to individual partners and how they want to handle that exactly, and especially until we can handle it completely. We will have to take on a travel agency type face to some extent. Because we'll have a lot of the same liabilities. That's why the corporate attorneys were the next step before we start doing anything else, because we must dot all those I's and cross all those T's, because when we accomplish the goal, we don't want to get it taken away. So that's most of it. I'm sure there's more we could talk about if Kyle wants to fill in some blanks.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So that's very well said, Ty. Thank you for that. So basically, I see that you have the website up. We currently haven't updated it in quite some time. And the reason being is, so you're going to find that it's extremely bare and rather basic, to be truthful. The reason that we haven't is because we're currently in talks with a few different companies that are going to actually maintain the website and install the software on it. And the software that I'm referring to is what Ty touched on just a few minutes ago. We're going to have memberships. So we're going to have right on the front home screen here, there's going to be a member login page. And what that's going to do is it's going to verify that you're a TCC holder. And once you're a logged in member and you're verified that you're still holding a bag, then you're going to be allowed to click on all the links of our partnered locations, resorts, bed and breakfasts, you name it. We have so many ski resorts, our own location that we're, very, very busy on working towards. And you'll get discounts with all of our partnered locations as long as you're a verified member that's still holding, which we're excited about. We're going to be a travel club, and we're working diligently every day towards achieving this. So it's a slow process, unfortunately. Nothing happens overnight. And as Ty said, we launched about 3 weeks ago. So there's 5 of us on the team. Then we're working every day towards developing all this. It's going to be a really, really cool experience for everybody involved. And it should really take off once you can actually get onto the website and log in and look at all of our partnerships and get links right to their websites for bookings, etc. And especially once we nail down the location and start building. So that's basically my field. Ty and my brother are the crypto savvy guys. I'm the director of property development for Travel Club Crypto. That's my focus. That's what I do in my everyday life. I'm a general contractor, developer. So that's my forte. And yeah, I'm just really excited to get to work and start building. Getting the corporate attorney involved who has a lot of experience with this stuff. She actually just closed with a client on a retreat in Costa Rica. Very similar to what we're doing, which once we heard that, because we've interviewed a few at this point, and we finally settled on her. Her name is Caroline McCaffrey. Her husband is Paul McCaffrey. He's a lead crypto expert at his law firm. You can actually look him up and verify that. Yeah, things are in motion, and unfortunately, it's a little slower than we'd like to be, but we're okay with that because we always had the plan to grow organically, and we didn't want it to pump overnight. We wanted it to develop the right way, where we didn't make any mistakes along the way. That's been very important to us because, as Ty mentioned just a little while ago, I have been involved in a ton of projects personally that they promise you the world and they don't deliver on any of them. And it's incredibly frustrating. You buy in, it goes to nothing. That's exactly what we're trying to avoid. And that's a major focus of ours, is to really, everything is a process and just to develop it the correct way.
Yeah. Honestly, I think you guys, you said a lot here, right? And kind of taking a look back on some of the points that you had mentioned. One, things don't happen overnight, so we understand that for sure. And I think the space overall understands that. A lot of rug pulls going on, so you always want to make sure that you're getting in with the right team. Now, it sounds to me like, well, first off, let's just start off. You guys are showing your faces, number one. That's in this space, that's huge, right? Number two, you're doing the right thing. You're here in the United States, and you're getting attorneys, you're getting your lawyers, you're lawyering up, and you have to, because I can tell you for us as well, that was one of the first things that we did to make sure that we're protected, that our families are protected, that the company is protected, and of course that the investors are protected. If they wanted to go out now and sue the crap out of you or me, well, okay, we're here in the United States. We're kind of used to that from time to time. Go ahead. We can have our lawyers talk to your lawyers. Got to make sure we're doing everything right, especially with all the regulations that are coming out. Now, I feel like you guys have a solid project here. You have a solid game plan, and it's going to take some time. So I'm excited for you guys. Talking about the tokenomics, can you guys focus in a little bit on that?
Yeah, I was just about to come in with that right before because I realized I had left that part out. So one of the main things I wanted to make clear when we had this contract made, we wanted to make sure what we wanted to do was to give as close as you could get to the protections of a renounced contract without having to renounce the contract. Anyone who's been involved in the space in the last year or so has seen the multitude of V2s and 3s and 4s and how many ever Vs. And that really boils down to the fact that, it was a fad that you had to renounce your contract. People were demanding that you renounce your contract, thinking that that was going to keep them from getting scammed. And they found out very quickly it did not. In fact, it became the favorite thing of a scammer to do was to renounce the contract to make it look like it was okay. The one thing I like to say about a renounced contract is if you plan to be around for very long, you can't have a renounced contract. As your volume grows, as you scale, you will need to make changes. Now with us, the main changes we knew we would need to make was we wanted to be able to lower our taxes as our revenue streams come in, and we can match the streams that way. We want to eventually go to a zero tax, where it is more that the company supports the token than the token supports the company, because it is unrealistic to believe that a token can support a company forever. It cannot. It needs outside influence. It needs outside revenue, not just fiat that we bring into crypto, but this fiat that comes in through having retreats, through third-party partnerships. That fiat is necessary. So what we tried to do with our contract was a little bit different in a lot of ways. So we started out no blacklist whatsoever. We could not blacklist anyone. No stop trading. We cannot stop trading. So, we cannot stop it at any time. It's going to run. It's not stopping. There's no way to stop it. We hard coded our taxes, buy and sell at 10% each. So the current and the launching taxes were 5% in, 10% out. So the sell tax can never go above what it is right now. It will only go down. The contract will not function if you try to set it above 10%. So those are certain things that we put in. We took the entire supply. When we launched, the entire supply went directly into Uniswap. So there were no airdrop tokens. If someone has a token in their wallet, it was paid for. That includes everyone on the team. That includes everybody that's ever gotten any tokens we've ever given away. We had to buy to give them away. So we wanted to be fair so that you don't have these airdrop tokens that were never paid for, that, just are sitting there waiting, to get got. So of the allocation of that 15%, I'm going to speak in totals. It's 15%, 5 in, 10% out. So of that total 15%, 9% goes to the marketing and acquisitions wallet. Which does exactly what it is, helps with the partnership acquisition, helps with the marketing. We have 3% that goes to liquidity, and that liquidity pair is bought and burnt immediately within the contract. So it never hits a wallet. So that's burned liquidity on every single transaction. Our initial liquidity, is locked for 100 years. We started out for 6 months, made sure it was running fine. The contract's running great. So we went ahead and locked it for 100 years. It was actually right after the SafeMoon situation happened. Even though what happened to SafeMoon could not have happened to our contract. We didn't. We just figured, what's the point? We're not going to pull it out. So why? We're going to let it ride. So we did it for 100 years to give everybody that extra. We want to give everybody as much protection as we can. We want to make it impossible for us to take the money, right? Because we've all seen it. We've seen it in this space over and over again. Somebody's got great intentions, and then when the money hits them, everything changes. And you never know how people are going to react until that money is there. And that's what I see people doing. And then we do have a 3% dev wallet, which goes to the team. That was another fad, or I don't know about a fad, but it was another thing that was a bone of contention for a lot of investors was, why do you have a team wallet? Well, I'll just say this. If anybody starts a company and tells you that they have not figured out a way to pay themselves, they're lying to you. So you need to know how they're going to pay themselves. Now, I have been in projects, and I understand that yes, you can invest in your project, and of course, we're all invested in our own project. That goes without saying. But the problem is, if the only way I make money is investing on the project, that means I have to sell. Do you want me to sell my bag so I can make money, or would you rather me get it from a dev wallet? And our wallets are all fed; they're all swap and liquefied, so our taxes do not come in native token. They show up in Ethereum. So we never have sell pressure of a huge wallet building up that we're going to have to sell in order to buy certain things or pay for certain things. It's Ethereum. So the only thing it could ever affect is Ethereum, which if we can get big enough to affect Ethereum price with a sell, I'll be real happy about it. So nobody's going to complain. But like I said, we tried to give as much protections as we could. Oh, max wallets was a 2% max wallet and 2% max transaction. We all know what max wallets means. It means you can't get but 2% of total supply into one wallet. We also know that it means that one person can have multiple wallets. But you just have to make it to where it's, like we said, we wanted to make it more fair. And what it really helped at was at launch. So that somebody could, if you didn't have a max wallet at launch, those first few people could just eat up supply. And, and if they're bots, then you've got a problem. So, that was one of the main things we wanted to take care of. I think I covered most everything on that as far as the tokenomics.
Yeah. Yeah. And, taking a look at it, it looks like you did. I do see that you have, you had mentioned that you have 100 million total supply. 5% buy tax, 10% sale tax. What I like is a 0% transfer tax.
Yep.
That's real nice. Now, I agree. The dev marketing, there is always some mechanism, at least initially, that tax being collected needs to go to the team, and otherwise, you're right. They're lying to you because they're getting it some form or fashion. The fact that you guys are being transparent up front about it, love it. I guess what I also truly understand is if you were to take a look at the contract overall, you do have the ability to adjust the tax. Now, you did speak to that, right? A lot of folks are concerned that when you have that type of functionality built into contract, that you're going to go straight to 100% and you're going to lock folks out or 99. That's not the case, right? The thoughts behind a lot of that, especially the projects that are transparent, the ones showing their faces, the ones that are lawyering up and getting ready for the future, are the ones that are potentially looking to lower that tax, because you're absolutely right. This is not sustainable. You cannot just live off tax alone. It has to have some product, something that you are offering and making money through that product or through that offering. So I think it's brilliant, guys. Let me ask you, what are the immediate few next steps that you guys have in mind here?
I can touch on that, Ty, if you don't mind. So my brother is actually going back down to Jamaica to see his wife and his baby daughter. She's actually just about 2 years old now, my niece, and his wife is still there. They're working on their paperwork so that they can come to the United States. So he has to do the embassy stuff as an American citizen and her husband, basically. So he has currently quite a few meetings set up with real estate agents at the moment, where we're going to really start looking at waterfront, beachfront locations that are large enough and in really nice areas and safe enough areas to build the retreat on. And that's in the immediate future of what we're working on. Is we're really diligently working hard to find that piece of property, as well as what could potentially be just as important of a piece to the puzzle is the software for the website and getting the website up to speed and the member login so that we can go into our Telegram, get public everywhere else on these spaces, and just let the world know now's the time. Log into the website, create your member sign up, start looking at what we have going on. And once we have all that, we have quite a few really cool locations and destinations that are ready to go and put their name on our website as basically a no obligation cost to them. if anything, we're just going to create more traffic for them. So people are really chomping at the bit to become a part of this. So it's looking really, really good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like what you guys got going on, and I just want to talk on that a little bit. But you guys got all the chess pieces basically lined up. If you build it, it will come. I always bring that movie up. I love it. Field of Dreams, and you guys got all the pieces already there. You got the boots on the ground with somebody that you're familiar with, obviously your brother, and so it's not far fetched for you guys to do this thing. To be honest with you, if you guys didn't have boots on the ground, it would be a little bit more hard. Like, yeah, we're just gonna plan to go to Jamaica, and we haven't been there before, and we don't know nobody there, and we're gonna do this. It's like, not saying that nobody can do that, but at least for me personally, to know that also his wife is from there, having somebody that's a native there, because you want to have those connections, you want to have those type of pieces together that somebody's gonna work with you and stuff like that. So yeah, I like what you guys got going on. The ideas, I mean, genius, because this is gonna happen no matter what, right? We need this for crypto. Eventually, it's gonna happen. So you guys being one of the first ones is really smart. And then with the boots on the ground, I think you guys will be actually really successful in doing something in Jamaica. And then, after making that one work out, venture out somewhere else, Puerto Rico, or wherever you guys want to go.
That's the goal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Multiple locations, big resorts. Obviously, the biggest thing for us was to start with something that was achievable. And absolutely. We began speaking about a resort. And then we realized, okay, maybe that's a little too gung-ho. Let's start with something smaller, like the retreat, where we can put, depending on the size of the property, we can put 20 to 40 bungalows that some of them are multi-bedrooms. They all have their own bathrooms, then a big center location in the middle of all of them where they can all congregate, nice restaurant, bar. And then once this happens and gets off the ground, we can get into those bigger things and other locations and really cool destination places and
I mean, you guys got a lot of options. Like, if you guys can become the household name of Jamaica and doing this, not just with the bungalows or whatever, is like, where you guys got stuff going on for people there, where it might be other people that don't have the bungalows, nothing to do with this project, but you're making it easier for them to tap in and stuff, because it could be with cruise ships. There's a lot, right, that you guys got that you guys can actually do. And leverage is one of the words that we know. Shout out to John right there, Texas Whale. Yeah, definitely leverage that all the way. And with cruise ships and all that stuff, I would plaster your guys's, I would advertise everywhere. Anybody doing anything like that, they would have to try to be the household name. I think you guys can do that for sure. Nobody else is doing it. You guys can be the first of something that's really good.
And we've felt that way for a while too. And this isn't anything new. We've been working on this for, what would you say, Ty? Probably the better part of 11 months now. And
well, I've been a part of it for 10, 11 months. And I know that you and Tyler and Jason were working on it for a few months prior to that. So for you guys, it's probably close to a year and a half. And it took that long to be sure that the right dev was found, the right team was put together, because all of that matters. It only takes one to tear it all down, and that is also one of the safeguards that we put in. We are on multi-sigs. That's something I didn't bring up before. Both the dev wallet, so the liquidity doesn't matter. As I said, it's burned. It goes directly to a burn address. The liquidity pair does immediately. But the other two wallets are both multi-sig wallets. So it takes at least 3 of us. There's no one person that can run with the money. We are all on the LLC. We are all named owners on the LLC, including the dev that wrote the contract. So that means, and we're all from the United States. So if it hits the fan, there's no pointing fingers. I mean, we're all responsible. Not just morally, but legally. And we just wanted to give those type of protections because that's what we didn't see. I've spent the last close to 2 years trying to teach people how to identify red flags in contracts and in wallets and how they move. And over time, and Tyler and Kyle were part of that probably for the last 10 months or so, and 11 months or so. And over time, you kind of figure out, okay, Well, if we take this out of the equation, it's going to make it harder for somebody to steal. If you take that out of the equation, it makes it harder. And eventually you can come up with a happy medium. As I said, with the like you said, the taxes being adjustable. Yes, they're adjustable, but they're hard coded at 10 to never go above 10%. So they can't go up. I mean, so the buy tax could technically go up, but there's really no good scammer reason to make the buy tax go up, because the whole point is to not let them get out, not let them get in. There's just not really a reason to steal money, through the buy tax. I mean, I guess if you try to trick people, I don't know. I mean, I have a hard time finding that spot. But the sell tax is what happens. They jack it up to 90%, and you can't sell, or even 50% you can't sell. And nothing's going to let that go through. So, or you'd have to go to advanced settings and, sign your life away and say, anything I touch, if it takes all my money, it's my fault. So, but like I said, it just, we wanted to give people the comfort. And the next thing is our community. We've done a pretty good job we've got a great community. Barbara being part of the community. We've got some other people being part of the community. They just pitch in, Donald, NFT. I don't want to just start naming people because I'm going to leave people out. But we just got people that just come in, and because there's so many that do so much without ever being asked. They just come in. They do certain things. Donald started making PFPs for people, just custom PFPs. One of the best-selling things on our merch store now is the fact that he made TCC PFPs with people's country's flag, part of it.
Smart.
So,
Smart.
People wanted that left and right. And as soon as I saw that, I said, oh, these are going on merch for sure. It's one of the best-selling things because now they can promote not only their country, but also the project, So it's just a great reason for people to buy it. It also shows how many countries are involved,
Right.
We only got but we've got 221 holders, I believe. But I bet there's over 20 countries, involved. We have over 20 countries in PFPs, easy. So it took off. But that's something that started just from a community member that we knew, but we didn't, have any real involvement like that prior to. He just came in, loved the project, started making things, started making NFTs. He made NFTs for us to give away just so we could give them away. TCC NFTs, and was like, here, just give them away. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool.
No, and community is everything. Community is, especially for a young project like yourself, having a strong community to build you guys up, get that base going, man. It's crucial, and it sounds like you guys have a strong pulse on what's going on in the community. So, Bronze, anything you want to focus in on? Anything that we may have missed out of questions?
I had a question on the membership levels. What determines? I see you had the VIP, gold, and exclusive. What determines of how many TCC you hold? Have you guys determined that yet?
We have not completely determined it. So what it's likely going to be is a minimum, which will not be a super high number, a minimum of TCC actually held, and then the levels will be decided by NFTs. That was the fairest way, because then it can be a flat dollar rate that doesn't necessarily fluctuate. And that, so if we set membership levels at a certain holding, as the price goes up and down, as the market does, as crypto, it makes it hard to make those membership levels fair. Like what we would want it to be now may seem super low, could be super high in 2 months. So we would be constantly changing it. So when is it fair? When does it become unfair? And when does it become unachievable? Or whatever for too many people. So we felt like that NFTs are a better way to go. There's still some things we have to look into, especially with the attorneys and different things as far as compliance is concerned, on exactly what we can do and how we can do it when it comes to that. But we think that that's going to be our best option, and that is to sell an NFT at a flat rate for the membership levels. And those levels will, once the retreat is open, and like I said, we're not even going to sell the NFTs until the retreat is breaking ground, so we know it's happening. those once that is open, that'll give certain amounts of free stays per year. So once you buy that NFT every year, you're going to get a certain amount of free stays at that retreat. And the great part is yes, that's the retreat in Jamaica to start. But as we grow and as we have other retreats and have other partners that are involved, that will likely include multiple places. So you don't have to go to the same place every year, and you get a vacation. Now, the floor of those will go up as time goes, as we add locations and partners. The floor of those NFTs will go up as they're sold on the secondary market, and as we sell them, they will go up because the value will go up in that you can stay at different places. The value of your stay will likely go up over time also. So that way NFTs just make it easier for us to, nobody's ever going to get mad because we sold you an NFT for $1,000 but now we're selling them for $2,000. That just means their NFT is worth $2,000 now, as long as people want to pay for them. So, you raise your own floor in that manner. But like I said, there are some things we do need to check with that are compliance related. And that is also one of the reasons why we chose the firm that we did. They are very well versed in crypto compliance as it is now, where it is going. There's only so much you can do about where it's going because to some extent, everybody's guessing. Some of the best attorneys in the world can't tell you exactly what's a security and not at this point. So, and I think they do that on purpose, honestly, because that way they get to pick and choose who they want to go after when it's not real clear. Yeah. But what we can do is avoid what's set in stone now and what we know is going to be a problem in the future. And then the rest, we got to do our best, just like everybody else, and let attorneys guide us the best they can, because there's no guarantees of what the government's going to do.
Right. And where will the NFTs be available initially? It will be on your site or OpenSea or?
Likely on our site, and it would just make more sense to do it to send the traffic to our site for that type of thing. Now that doesn't mean that they won't end up on OpenSea. If they're based on, they'll likely be based on Ethereum. I wouldn't rule out Poly. It just depends on gas fees and different things where they go at that time when it comes. I don't want to set anything like that in stone because there's too many options these days for when it comes to NFTs and avoiding some of the gas fees if necessary. If Ethereum has moved along and you're getting closer to those lower gas fees, and I think that it's more of an option. I don't dislike Ethereum NFTs. Don't get me wrong, because the gas fees aren't that bad right now, but it's just, when you add, like you say, you add a few extra $100 to something, then that all of a sudden makes that bottom tier maybe a lot different in price, and you don't really want to do that if you can help it. You don't want to price it out just because of gas. But and like I said, I think it's smarter to send the most of the traffic for the NFTs to, if we have that capability, then it's smarter to send the traffic to our website rather than to somewhere else. It wouldn't make much sense. It'd be better for both our advertising purposes and our partners' advertising purposes, which gives us more leverage when it comes to partnerships.
Well, makes sense. I feel like the future of the project is bright, fellas. I feel like you guys got a pretty strong handle on what next steps look like. You guys got to check these folks out. Check out their website, travelclubcrypto.com. Of course, they're found on Twitter. They got a link tree that has all sorts of. They have the chart on there. You can go check them out on Uniswap. They have the merch shop. They're found again on Twitter, TCC, Telegram, Instagram. Man, they're all over the place. So check these folks out. Barbara, do you have any final words for us, dear? Do you want to kick us off into the sunset?
Yeah. I'm super excited to be part of this project because first of all, as you see, our devs, they come and talk to you. You know who they are. They're very active, and we have every single day we have voice chat where the community, can come at any time of the day and say hi. And if they have a question, they start to do Twitter Space. I think the first day was yesterday. So between the day, during the day, I'm sorry, they are doing Twitter Spaces so people can jump in and know about the project. They're very, we are a small community, but very strong. It's like we are in BRB, because guys, you have to learn about BRB because, I'm part of them and I love the project and I know we are going to do great things. So these are two projects that are starting. And one of the things that I love the most is the commitment of the community. You have to, be active so people can know about the project. So, and this community is amazing. They are all over Twitter. They are in the Telegram all the time, and and they're not talking just to talk. They are talking because we are being informed about how things are going, and the devs doesn't they don't hype. They do the things as they are supposed to, and then they tell the community how things are going. They love to give. One of the things that I love about it is that they love to give to the community and people that are not part of the community. And just go and go to our website, follow us on our social media, and you will see that it's a great project. It has a great future, and I'm wishing that one day they come and they build a resort in Puerto Rico. Because you guys know that I'm from Puerto Rico, and that will make me very, very happy. So,
Yeah.
so yes, I just wish the project the best, and I'm here to help them grow. And everything that I can do, as I can do for BRB, I'm gonna do it. So, guys, if you're in the chat, I already told you about it, but you have to go and see BRB too. So, thank you guys for letting me talk.
Yeah.
Barbara, thank you. You're amazing.
you.
For BRB and what you're doing with this project as well. And got to give a shout out to PR. She gave a shout out to PR, La Isla del Encanto, right?
La Isla del
Yeah,
Encanto, yes.
absolutely. Yeah, so that's more boots on the ground that we'll have over there, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's really tangible. So I'm rooting for you guys, and you guys will hear something coming on the channel soon.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Awesome project. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ty. Thank you, Kyler. Of course, Barbara, thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
very welcome.
And Bronze, Rico, man, you guys kill it as always. So, guys, have a great
Always a
night.
pleasure.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Get some ramen. We're out of
Some
here.
ramen.
There it is. Boom.
Thanks for having us, guys. Have a nice night.
All right.